Auburn Blitz is now on the air. Your daily look into what's happening in Auburn athletics. With your host, Andy Graham, Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, War Eagle.
Hello again, everyone, and good Wednesday afternoon. Welcome into this, another edition of the Auburn Blitz. I am Andy Graham alongside Brett Pritchard. We'll be with you for the next hour, taking your phone calls, taking your comments, talking about everything going on in the world of Auburn athletics. Auburn going to head down to Baton Rouge to take on the LSU Tigers, the Bengal Tigers, on this Wednesday.
All right.
You know, it's another road game in the SEC. It's the one that you need to win. It's a win. It's a game that you can win. It's a winnable game. Auburn's got some winnable games on the road coming up. LSU, South Carolina. These are the kind we've said this over and over. We said this about Georgia. We said this about Ole Miss. These are the games you got to take advantage of. You hold court at home, and you win, steal a couple of these on the road. That's how you end up with a really good record in the SEC.
Well,
that's how you compete for the SEC title.
If LSU had any doors on the car, they were blown so far off this past weekend by Alabama. And look, and I know Alabama's playing so far above most anybody in the country right now. But I'm telling you, I don't know how LSU reacts to this. We saw Tennessee kind of in a fog last night. They kind of got it together at the end of the game, ended up winning on the road. But LSU back home, they know that was about as poor showing as you can have. So you know they'll be motivated. Of course, they'll look like a Final Four team tonight when we show up. But hey, it is what it is. But it's more about us. It's more about what are we doing.
Sure.
And so this is not, on paper, a very good LSU team. They're 1-4 in league play.
Well, they're rebuilt from last. I mean,
they are, and
they literally broke
lost
down
the whole.
bedrock.
They lost the whole team. So I mean, but this is a game you got to go win. You know, if you want to stay in contention, and Auburn is in contention, they're 4-1. They're only one game out of first. Yeah. So I mean, if you want to stay in that position up there with Alabama and Tennessee. You gotta keep pace. So anyway, I think we've got a call already. So to get things kicked off, let's go to the phone lines. Caller, go ahead.
Yes, I'd like to get the host's opinion. I think the last several years we could safely say that it's been the era of the tight end in college football, and I think that's one area where Auburn has underperformed the last few years is getting the tight end involved in the offense. My question is, do you think Hugh Freeze will try to get more production receiving from the tight end position, and did he pick up any tight ends in the transfer portal? And I'll hang up and listen.
Appreciate it, Will. Thank you for your call. Do you want to take that?
Yeah, we did get a tight end in the transfer portal, Rivaldo Fairweather.
Very good, big dude.
He's like 6'5", 245, from Florida International, and I think he fits in the kind of the Evan Ingram mold of a tight end, which is the kind that Hugh Freeze likes. However, now I will say this: if there's one thing that Brian Harsin actually did do that was positive, he got the tight end involved. John Samuel Shanker set a record, for catches in a season by a tight end for Auburn. So that was
he had to throw to him and have any receivers to throw to. And I mean, they looked out there and that all the rest of them had gone and left. So I'm not going to give Brian Harsin credit for anything, not anything other than breathing oxygen.
Hugh Freeze better use the tight end because we got plenty of them.
We got a boatload of them. Who was it? James called and wanted to know why we had 29
tight
on the roster. But look, if you look at what Hugh Freeze has done in the portal, and it's a very, very big part of what Hugh Freeze does. If you look at his past and his history, if you want to know what everybody thinks about Hugh Freeze, you can take all the naysayers and all out. But I saw a ranking by Saturday Down South in another publication this morning. They've got him as the 4th best coach in the SEC.
Really?
I mean, and that's where people's minds are. When you take away all the other crap that went on and he got himself into and rebounding, behind Nick Saban and Kirby Smart, and I'm trying to think who and I think I don't know. I don't think it was. I'd have to go back and look. I can pull it up. But he was
Kiffin.
Kiffin was below him. Like Billy Napier was like down at the bottom, along with. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'll see if I can find it during the break. But obviously we know Nick Saban and Kirby Smart are at the top.
Stoops?
No, Stoops was below him. Okay. So Heupel was below him too. So,
he's young.
Well, but still though. That just shows you the elevation of where Auburn went from being last, because Brian Harsin wasn't anywhere but next to last or last on anybody's.
It was probably headed down.
If there was a possibility of going through the bedrock, he was. So look at where Auburn has elevated itself from from a perception, from an X and O's perception wise. It's big, and that's what players probably feel the same way, and that's where you want to be. Obviously, you want to be mentioned in that top tier part of the conference as far as coaches.
Jim says Auburn has moved into the number 2 spot in the portal rankings now. They were number 4, so.
Well, they depending on 24/7 and on 3, whichever one you were looking at, it was 4 in one and 3 in the other, and then possibly just moved up, as Jim said, to 2 in one of those rankings. So
well, obviously that's based on what some other people
32 players he's added since he's been there when you count the recruiting class.
Yeah.
So
12.
You're adding a lot of guys. This is a revamped roster. You're going to see it on both sides of the ball next year. We had Jason on Friday. He said, "Look, you could see up from 4 to 5, maybe 6 on each side of the ball, new faces."
Oh yeah,
starting. You're talking about a different team.
I fully expected to be a completely. Well, outside of Jeremiah Wright, a completely new offensive line.
Well, of course it is. Right.
So,
that's right. And, I think Tate Johnson even falls into that category because he didn't